What are the best ways to promote a new restaurant? Could you give us, let us say, 3 to 5 points on what are the ways to promote a new restaurant? I think
Sorry,
your
Amit,
battery
can
is low. Your laptop battery is low. Could you please just
no,
plug
no,
it?
it's okay. I'm putting on the charger.
Okay, sure.
Yes, Amit.
Vishal Kejriwal
What's
has
the
a
question?
question. What are the best ways to promote a new restaurant?
Because it all
Vishal.
depends on what kind of a budget. Sorry,
Vishal.
Vishal.
Yeah.
Vishal, it all depends on what kind of a budget you have to spend. 99% of times when you will start a restaurant, you will never be left with the budget to promote your restaurant. So, but still, it depends what kind of a target audience you have. So, I'll just give you an example. Barista advertising in Dainik Jagran does not make any sense. Barista advertising in Amity makes sense. Similarly, a family restaurant advertising on Zomato.com does not make any sense. If a family restaurant advertising in newspapers makes sense. So let's say I'll make it more clear. It should be a combination of internet, wherein the best ways to advertise your restaurant currently is Zomato.com, TimeCity.com, Burp.com, where you have millions and millions of customers who are visiting the sites daily. And then again, you can also have a mix of print media, print ads, wherein you don't spend that much of amount that for such a small space you are paying Hindustan Times or Times of India a huge amount. They always come up with schemes after 2 months, 3 months, wherein whenever you are paying a nominal amount, you get a huge space. Whenever you are buying a media, make sure you are buying the media at the right amount, at the right price. It is negotiated in a very high manner. A magazine guy will come to you and will say that this full page ad will cost you 60,000 rupees, but once you start negotiating, he'll give you that ad in 6,000 rupees. So, just choose according to your target audience is the right way, to select the right medium for your advertisements.
Okay, great. So let us go to the next question. Pallavi Agrawal has a question. She wants to have an idea about the legal issues or the paperwork required for starting a restaurant.
Yeah, hi Pallavi. Very important question. Of course, I guess I forgot to mention and to cover it. See, Pallavi, every area has different legal things attached to it. Gurgaon will have a different legal thing. Delhi has a different legal thing. Noida has different legal things. But majorly, what you need is a fire license. You need a food license. Now, FSSI has made it compulsory for each and every restaurant to use FSSI products, and every day that you have something new on the food alteration and making sure that you are using the right thing. But as in broadly, in bullet points, the first you need is a food license, you need a shop act registration, you need ESITF for your organization. You need a service tax because you are selling something. You need a CST TIN number because you are selling something, and that's about it. If you have, if you are serving liquor, then of course you need an excise license, a liquor license that covers each and every one. That's about it.
Okay, thanks. So let us have a next question. Kapil Israni, I have unmuted you. Kapil, would you like to speak your query? Kapil Israni? Yes, Kapil, I have unmuted you. I think Kapil's mic may not be working. Let us go to the next. Uh, Ashish has a case. He wants to have a theme to open a restaurant. How can he analyze that this theme fits into the market? If
Right.
you are
So
doing a
Ashish, are you
theme-based
looking for a?
restaurant, yes.
Okay, so he's thinking about a theme. Ashish, the best way is that a theme is basically the ambience part of the restaurant. So now, how important is that the restaurant should have good ambience? is directly proportional to that, once the person will step into your restaurant, till the time you will serve him food, 20 minutes he's not getting bored. He's enjoying where he is sitting. He's enjoying whatever he's seeing. So if that theme will interest that person for 20 minutes, then you have chosen the right thing. If the people, if you think that the customer will get bored about, I'll just give you a small example now. Restaurant runs on regular business. Restaurant runs on repeated customer. So it is very, very important that, your theme does not bore a customer very easily. He can come down to your restaurant 5 times, 7 times, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, 50 times, and he'll never get bored. He sees a theme and he says, wow, that yes, it should be different, it should not look copied, it should be something very new, something very unique, and that's it. I guess
Sure.
if you want to do a survey, you can probably ask 100, 150 people about the kind of theme that you are looking for. Nobody will copy it because nobody can open a restaurant in one day, kind of a thing. That is.
Okay, great. Sachin M has a question. What is the break-even time of a restaurant? Could you give some examples in your life for the people that you know about who are running restaurants? How much time does it take to get to a break-even? How much billing has to be done, or any ways in which to assign it?
Of course, Sachin, it all depends on how much money you have invested in the outlet. But then again, on an average basis, if your restaurant is doing well, if you are able to do break even of your operations in the first 6 months, you would be able to take out your money in 3 to 4 years of time. It can be even less. Now, I again give you an example. Let's say a restaurant which was opened in GIP on the first day, because of the high footfall, or a restaurant which was opened in an ambience mall in Gurgaon, because of the high footfall, they started making money and they started making revenues on the first day of their operation. But a restaurant which was opened in a market in, let's say, in Sector 18 or Sector 29 Gurgaon, or let's say Defcon, the walk-ins are not that high. So they have to promote the restaurant. Gradually people will start walking in. Gradually the people will become customers. Gradually the word of mouth will start spreading and everything. So it also depends how soon your restaurant becomes popular, how soon you break even your operation expenses. Once you break even your operations, then only you'll start making profit. And once you start making profit, then you'll break even in your investment. So that's about it. Yes.
Okay, great. Another question that comes from Abhishek is, in every location where people are present, there is a competition. Then how do you overcome competition and strategically choose a location? Do you want to be near to the competition while choosing the location of a restaurant, or you want to be far away from them? And how do you position yourself in front of and against competition?
See, first of all, there is no competition in restaurants. If there are 3,600 restaurants, probably more in Delhi NCR, imagine how many people are going out to eat every day. You not even need 0.01% of the customers who are going out of their house to eat every day. So, keeping in mind that you have competition or 5 restaurants will open in this market, then what will happen? It all depends on the kind of restaurant that you have. The people go out to eat every day. You don't have to worry about whether you'll get customers or not if you are good enough. It definitely makes sense to open a restaurant near to a restaurant which is already running, because you have 300, 400, 500 people walking into that restaurant every day, and every day there are 300, 400, 500 people who are seeing your restaurant, who are going to eat into some other restaurant. There might be a possibility that on the second time when they'll visit, they'll come to your restaurant. There might be a possibility the third time when they come to that restaurant, they'll come to your restaurant. So instead of opening a restaurant which is far away from a running restaurant, it definitely makes sense that you open a restaurant next door where already a restaurant is working and doing very well.
Okay, Great. Manas, can we extend the session for another 10 minutes? We have a lot of questions coming up from our audience.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Rakesh has a question. Uh, what is the approximate amount of opening a restaurant in a metropolitan city, let us say Bangalore? Could you cite some instances?
Rakesh, uh, see, it all depends on your planning. Now, let's say if you don't have an architecture hired, if you don't have an interior designer hired, and if you are thinking of cutting that cost and doing everything of your own, then of course the time would be a little higher. Then, if you are planning a restaurant in a mall, you don't have to take care of the plumbing issues, you don't have to take care of the electricity issues, you don't have to take care of the generator issue, you don't have to take care of power backups, such kind of things. If you're opening up in a restaurant, you have to take care of your plumbing, the sewage, the water, the electricity backup, and the infrastructure of that building. And it also depends on what kind of an area you have. Now, let's say if you only have 500 square foot area wherein you are doing the interiors, and if you have 2000 square foot of area in you are doing interiors, obviously it will take more time. But broadly, 2 to 3 months is a good amount of time wherein you should have, whether you are doing a big project, whether you are doing a small project. 45 days to 90 days is what you should keep as a deadline for you, so the restaurant to be operational. Why I am saying this is, whenever you will take a rented place, the rent is only free for first month. Probably he'll give you only 15 days rent free time. So the sooner your restaurant is operational, the sooner you'll start saving on the cost part. So it is very, very important that you're always on your toes and making sure that your restaurant is open within 45 to 90 days the moment you start doing it.
Sure. Thanks. There is another question which is about the profit margins. Could you take up a related question, two parts? One is, what are the various expenses in operational terms? Could you give us some ratios, or okay, so mota mota out of 100 rupees, this much goes for salaries, this much goes for raw
Definitely.
material. Could you give us some big ratios on a higher level basis? And then could you talk us about what are the kind of margins that are possible and in takeaway, fine dining, or any different kind of restaurants?
Right. It's again a myth that people say that a restaurant is a high margin business. Restaurant is not that high margin a business, but what makes restaurant a good margin business is because you are dealing in cash. You don't have to give credit to anybody, and you are buying things in credit. So that gives you a kind of cash flow wherein you can rotate the entire money, you can rotate the entire cash flow, and you can get, you are always on a safer side because you are selling in cash and you are buying in credit. But broadly speaking, a rent of a restaurant should be covered in 5 days of its sale. If your rent is getting covered in 5 days of your sale, you will have a successful restaurant. If your rent is not getting covered in 5 days of your sale, you will not have a successful restaurant at any cost, at any point of time. Now, this is a very good way to judge that, okay, I am planning a restaurant in Defcol market, or I am planning a restaurant in Kalkaji market. The rent is 1 lakh rupees and I am thinking that the restaurant will do a sale of 15,000 rupees. Does not make any sense. So the kind of sale that you are hoping and the kind of rent that you are paying, if you are able to cover it in maximum 5 days, your restaurant would always be running. But if you are not able to make it, cover in 5 days, you will have to work hard. So I'm not giving you a percentage. I have given you a good figure to see this. Then again, your salary should be somewhere between 10 to 12%. You should not pay more than 10 to 12% of your total revenue. What the best figure whenever we talk about a food industry is 30 to 35% should be your food cost. If your food cost is above 30 to 35%, you need to work on your purchases. You need to work on the amount of the portion size that you are serving. You need to work on if the amount of food that you are buying is getting wasted or not. So 30 to 35% is the benchmark for the hospitality industry, that this should be your food cost. Now this can be higher also. If there are many restaurants who keep their pricing low to get more customers, and they keep the quality high. But I'm telling you about the benchmark factors. Overall, you should be able to fetch a profit margin somewhere between 20 to 25%. It can go to even higher if your purchase, if your expenses are in control, if you know where each and every penny that you're earning is going. For example, you buy an ad of 10,000 rupees. That ad of 10,000 rupees have come of a sale of 50,000 rupees. Because in that 50,000 rupees, you are making a profit of 25%. So that ad actually is coming out of a sale of 50,000 rupees. So if you have a strong tight hand on the expenses that you have, you would be able to get a profit margin of 25 to 35 to 30%, which is easily achievable.
Thanks, Manas. I hope our friends got some nice insights on the cost structures and the financial structures for the restaurant. One question that always remains is the menu design. So, what is the
Right.
science or the art that goes behind the menu design? I have been to various restaurants and every menu is different. So, could you
Right.
walk us through how to design the menu and how to do the pricing and what does it take for preparing the menu of a restaurant?
Right. See, there are many aspects while whenever you are thinking about designing a menu. Now, there are two ways to design a menu. A, you sell everything. B, you sell what you can sell the best. As in, you'll find two kinds of restaurants who will have a very limited menu. They sell what they can sell the best. And you'll have a restaurant which will have everything. They'll have every damn variety of food into it. So, again, advantages, disadvantages are both the side. Now, a restaurant have to keep dal makhni, a restaurant have to keep butter chicken in the menu. Even if they don't make it well, they have to keep it in the menu. So, there are advantages and disadvantages on both the sides. But overall, let's say, you should always have a combination of the highest selling items, the popular items, the items that are not there in the market, as in unique items, the items that your chef specializes in, and people, you start selling them, you start uh, suggesting them to the customers so that people cannot go to any other restaurant because your chef makes it. Then again, while keeping, it should be uh, not complex design. People should be, if they want to choose a starter, then they can choose it very easily. They should not scroll down from 10, 15 pages that where is the starter, where is the main course, where is the rice section. It should be so easily designed that whenever a person wants to go to the starter page, he knows that okay, the third page is the starter or the fifth page is the starter. Clearly defined. The pricing of the menu again depends that my basic funda is that you should keep it value for money. People should feel that it is worth more than what I am paying. They should never feel that I am paying more than what it is worth. Again, the competition, 3,700 restaurants, every market has 70, 80 restaurants. You should give every reason to the customer to come back to your restaurant. If you are able to do so, then you'll have a lot of customers visiting to your restaurant.
Okay, great. One of our friend Vishesh Bajaj is looking for partners for his restaurant idea. If any of you wish to approach him, please write to him. I have given you Vishesh's email ID. We hope that through this webinar something positive takes place for Vishesh or the other side. Another question is from the branding part of it. So for branding a restaurant, is there some kind of a trademark or copyright or any other legal process that you use? If you can suggest and share that with us, Manas.
Right. About the Vishesh query, who is looking for a partner. Partnership is like getting married. So, before selecting your partner, as you will do your complete due diligence, should I get married to this female or guy get married to this guy. Similarly, once you are making partner, do complete due diligence and make sure that it lasts forever. And if you have a single iota of doubt that this partnership won't last forever, then you'll have a divorce, and this will be very, very uh, wrong on both the parts. Anyways, in terms of branding, of course, you cannot copy a name, you cannot copy a logo of any other restaurant. The moment you decide on the restaurant, you should immediately apply for trademark of that name. The moment your trademark formalities are done, it makes sense that nobody else can copy your name. I remember while we were thinking of a name for Desi Vibes, we were keeping it Cosmo Village first. And while we were on the verge of finalizing it as Cosmo Village, we got coupons from HDFC Bank in which Cosmo Village was there in Bangalore. So there might be a possibility that you are thinking of a name which is there in some remote corner of Chennai and you don't know it. So do a due diligence, search it on Google, talk to a good trademark agency who will search it for you whether this trademark is registered, whether there is a business running in this trademark or not. And then once you are finalized with the name, which should be very catchy, which should be very unique, you can always apply for your trademark.
Okay, yeah, great. Thanks. One more question from a test marketing perspective. Is it better to open one kind of a model restaurant in a mall or any locality so that you are able to get some audience coming in and keep your setup cost low? Is that better for test marketing purpose, or you just full-fledged open the restaurant, making all the investments? Is there some way in which you can test market your, let us say, menu, pricing, theme, etc.?
See, restaurant is not a test business. Restaurant, as far as the business industry is concerned, you see so many successful restaurants every day. In every market, there are so many successful restaurants. So you don't have to test this whether a restaurant will run or not. What you have to test is whether your pricing is right, whether your theme is right, whether your branding is right, whether your food is right. The three pillars in a restaurant is, of course, the ambience that makes the customer visit your restaurant for the first time. If he sees the ambience, food is like a backbone. If you are not serving the food you are not in the right industry. It's like you are manufacturing shirts, you are manufacturing it all wrong. So it does not make any sense. So if you are serving, you have to make sure that you are serving the best of the food. The third is the service aspect. I'll give you a small example that you will never be able to put a benchmark that iska khana sabse acha hai. This restaurant's dal makhani is the best. You will never be able to form a general opinion that this dal makhani is the best, or he serves the best butter chicken, he serves the best paneer. You will never be able to do so. You will never be able to do so that this restaurant has the best ambience, this restaurant has the most beautiful theme and the most innovative theme, because every day a new theme comes in, every day new ambience restaurant comes in. But you would always be able to distinguish a good service restaurant from the other restaurant, that restaurant has an excellent service. That restaurant serves, and the waiters there and the stewards there are excellent in the service. So you have to make sure, once you make sure that your ambience while you are designing your restaurant is attractive, and people will definitely would love to visit and see your ambience, they will not get bored while they are sitting idle. There are many ways to involve people into this, making sure that you are serving the right food, you are taking the positive feedback, you are improving on your food every time, you are telling your chef that making each and every dish with the full heart. And then, of course, if you are taking care of your service, you are taking care of your feedbacks, you are talking to your customers, you are making them happy, you are making their children happy, you are offering them birthday things, you are offering them anniversary gifts and everything, you don't have to test the restaurant.
Okay, great. I think Manas, a couple of queries left from the audience side.
No problem.
Pradeep is highly concerned about the hiring and motivating of people. Okay, since restaurant is a people business, could you throw some light on
Mhm.
that aspect of how to hire the best of the people and what kind of salaries?
Pradeep, as far as the hiring is concerned, how did we hire was we went to many restaurants and we started doing trials. What is trial is that you go to each and every restaurant, you start tasting their food, you start seeing the stewards around, and we started noting down that what are the things that they're doing wrong. What are the things that we always used to carry our pad with us, and we always used to make sure we just started noting what are the things that they're doing wrong. When it came to hiring, we made sure that that we are not paying very high to the stewards because we have to keep in mind the cost factor, and we are spending a lot of time in training instead of paying them more amount of money. Instead of hiring only the experienced people, we are paying more time with them, training them on service aspect. Now let's say, Pradeep, if you start reading articles on Google how to make customer happy, you would be able to tell your steward about hundred of things that he must not be knowing or he must be ignoring. There are many companies now who consult to restaurants and they help you with stewards, they help you with chefs. Whenever you plan up a restaurant in any location, obviously there are 50, 70, 80 restaurants who are already there. So what you do is you start spreading up a word that we are opening a new restaurant, we are hiring staff. People will again start walking in. Hindustan Times, Times of India, that 3-line, 4-line wali ad. If you give, you'll get 100 of calls. You have to choose the right guys. 99% of the resumes are fake. So you have to test them on your personal basis. You have to keep an close eye on how that person is working yourself, and then judge that person whether he is rightly motivated, whether he'll keep the other people motivated, whether he'll be happy. I'll give you a small funda. If you enter your restaurant or if you enter into your business, keeping in mind that this is your first day of your business, this is your first customer, whomsoever is sitting into that restaurant and you feel that this is the first customer and this is my first day of my restaurant, you will put your heart to make him happy. If that is the message that goes to your steward, if that is the message that goes to your chef, if that is the message that goes to each and every person working in your organization, then your customer will go happy. For that, you have to put a lot of time and effort in training your staff.
Okay, great. I hope that's a lot of insights on HR management. One question from Kapil's side is there are a lot of fluctuations, inflation, rising price of vegetables, inventory. What are the techniques that you use to ensure that you are safeguarded from these kind of risk? What are your risk management policies?
See, Kapil, uh, obviously a restaurant gets affected because of inflation. You don't like raising your menu prices after every 6 months, neither does it form a good impression on your customer. What happens is whenever you are finalizing your vendors, you finalize the rates on a yearly basis because you review your menu on a yearly basis. Now, if you are selling a particular dish, a non-veg dish for 225, and if you are buying a chicken for 100 rupees, you don't want to bear the cost that what if the chicken goes to 170 rupees? You know, you cannot put a sticker on your menu that now the price is 325 rupees. So whenever you are finalizing a vendor, you try and finalize the rate for the entire year. What happens is he'll give you an average. He'll give you an average. He will not give you the current rate that is there in the market. He'll give you an average of 150, 120, 125 rupees, and the current rate would be 100 rupees probably. But this will save you from the price fluctuation and the inflation fluctuation. Whether the chicken is for 100 rupees or whether the chicken is for 175 rupees, you are buying it at 125 rupees. And similarly, you can plan your menu. This also happens in terms of vegetables. Whenever you have onions, you have onions that goes at to 70, 80 rupees a kg. You have lemon that goes to 200, 250 rupees a kg. It saves you. You have garlic that goes to a very high price. So whenever you are finalizing a vegetable vendor, you finalize the rate that are on a year basis. Probably tomatoes nowadays are very expensive, that we would be buying it on a yearly basis. That is the best policy and the best funda, to be on the safer side.
Okay, great. Manas, I think we are running short of time. One last question that we can allow at this point of time is, what are the resources or blogs or some websites you can share with us that our audience can go through for more details on how to start a restaurant, or what are the good things or bad things? What are the kind of websites that you follow regularly and you would like to share with our friends?
The irony is, in India, I have not seen a very good Indian website serving the problems and giving you a tip on the restaurant industry. But internationally, there are many organizations. Obviously, they talk on dollars. They talk on a very different module. They talk on Christmas. They talk on everything. But their customer service reports and their manuals, their operation systems are very, very nice. So one of the very good website which can give you, operation insights, which can give you training modules, which can give you checklist for your restaurant is runningrestaurants.com. Very, very good website. And similarly, there was this book, How Did Starbucks, a book on Starbucks, I've forgotten the name, which was all about customer service that Starbucks focus. Excellent book on customer service. And they have so many insights about the system. There's so many insights about how they have trained their staff, how their staff remember which person drinks what coffee, and the customer delightment process that they follow. So it is again a very good resource. These are the only two resources, and any good book on customer service, because until unless your customer is delighted, everything that you are doing is a waste.
Okay. I think it's 5 principles for turning ordinary into extraordinary. Is it? Starbucks experience, 5 principles for turning ordinary into extraordinary.
Right.
Okay, great. So Google helps at some point of time. Okay, great. So I think it has been a wonderful session. More questions and comments will keep coming in. Thanks a lot to you, Manas. Very, very insightful, short and sweet summary of your journey. If you could like to share with us maybe one or two last piece of advice which for all our audience members present right now they can carry, what is it that you would like to tell them? One or two lines. If suppose you are starting today, what will you tell yourself?
Okay, I'll sum it to 3 things.
Okay.
A, never think that you are planning to start a restaurant. Always think in terms of you are planning to start. You will make sure that your restaurant will keep on running. Out of 10 restaurants, I guess only 9 restaurants, only 1 restaurant survives in their first year. 9 restaurants fail. So always keep in mind that you have to make sure that the restaurant runs. Don't make sure that you are opening a restaurant. B is you should go to any extent. Don't think of profit margin. Don't think of the money that you are making. Go to any extent in terms of customer delight. I'll give you a small example. There was a case in Desi Bhai's when we were serving Kadhai chicken to a long HCL table. The chicken fell from the steward's hand and it fell on the customer's shirt. Immediately we bought a new shirt from Prabhu's showroom and we gave it to him. So we go to that standards that whenever customer walks out of your restaurants, they says, wow. The moment this will start happening, you'll have the best marketing happening for your restaurant, which would be word of mouth. Third is the strong, how do I say this now? The amount of time you are spending on the customer delightment. If the same amount of time you are spending on your costing part, you'll always be on a safer side. If you are controlling your costs well, if you are spending each and every penny, thinking and then spending, you will definitely have a successful restaurant.